Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and very good morning to our respected lecturer, Dr. Hairul Azlan. We are from Group 11, Spicy Sugar. Today we will be presenting on our group project, which is on the issue of cost management of CiTRA, Center for Arts and Sustainable Development. On 11 December 2020, we have the opportunity to interview one of the Senior Assistant Director of CiTRA, Sir Amirul bin Ismail. He is very outstanding and polite person. He answering our question without any sign of compulsion because he said that he served for the development of students. As you can see in the slide, it is stated that his full name is Amirul bin Ismail. He has graduated in Diploma in Catering Management in Institute Technology Mara. Then he continued his study in Bachelor of Business Administration in Marketing at the same university. Then he managed to get Master in Educational Management. Next, he has the working experience of 29 years since 1991 from several departments. He was first work as the hostel manager, and then he was migrated to the another department, which is maintenance department under the matriculation studies. Currently, it is called as Center for Foundation Studies. Only after then, he was migrated to the CiTRA, and now he holds the position of the Senior Assistant Director. Also, he is in charge of the administration and finance. So anything like general administration, everyday tasks, he will manage all those matters, and also the finance, cash inflows and outflows. Next, I would like to talk about the background of the CiTRA. CiTRA was previously known as the Center for International Islamic Culture, and then it is changed to the Center for Arts and Sustainable Development. For your information, CiTRA mainly will organize event that is art-based program because its aims is to promote the beauty of local and international culture imbued with Islamic elements. There are 3 units operated in CiTRA, which are administration and finance, which Bro Amir will in charge those units, and also the development and publication. And the last one is the production unit. Each and every unit has its own special tasks, like production units, which in charge of the performance of the students, the shows, everything are related. And also the development and publication will in charge of the promotion of the events. And admin and finance will manage everyday's affairs in running CiTRA as a whole. Interestingly, there are only 4 staff in CiTRA, which all of them are full-time workers. And there are allocation for the allocation for the part-time workers, but they have left already, and there is no replacement because of the COVID-19. And then you might be wondering here, because CiTRA is a big organization in IOM, there are 16 clubs under CiTRA. So how they are going to manage all the clubs? Actually, each and every club, there is an advisor to govern the clubs. And the advisor will be elected among lecturers, administrative staff, and IOM officer. So that one is not considered as staff. I think that's all from me. Thank you. I will pass to my friends.
CiTRA will run according to IOM rules and regulation. For every program or big decision, it must be submitted and get approval from IOM. If the budget below RM10,000, the program will need approval by head of department. If the budget is more than 10,000, the budget will need approval from director of stat. If between the 20,000 and 200,000, it will need the approval of director. In terms of non-financial, they will only do and follow what have been directed by the top management of IOM. For every decision, they must get approval from the Student Affairs and Development Division. This is because CiTRA is under the Student Affairs and Development Division. Every year, CiTRA will get fund from STAT, Student Trust Account, and through student performance. STAT will provide RM 10,000 ringgit for CiTRA every year, and this budget need to be fully utilized. Next, CiTRA unit will get fund from Student Trust Account. This fund originated from students' fee. They will take RM 50 ringgit from the student fee and will allocate it for the student activities. This money goes to club and society, including to CiTRA. It will be used to organize activity. However, trust account are very hard to get, so CiTRA has another side income, which is through student performance. Example of this income are from charge the Kuliah Center for gamelan shows. Then we go to utilization of budget given to CiTRA. Based on the interview, the budget that is provided from IUM will be used to finance office stationery and supplies, office maintenance and repair, utility communication expenses, honorarium for trainers, vehicle expenses because we have van,
and also for the laundry expenses for the student club costume.
So based on the interview with Bro Aminuddin, so yes, CiTRA do prepare the financial report to compare the budgeted cost and actual cost of the center. So for that purpose, they use the financial online services system, or they often call IFIS system. So this system is actually a requirement by finance division for all kuliahs, centers, divisions, institutes, and offices, or KCDIO, to apply and use in recording their financial data. So since this system is online, the financial records in the system will be always be up to date and can be viewed in the real time manner. And due to that, it gives advantage to the CiTRA staff so that they can constantly update, keep track, and review the present and past financial performances regarding the CiTRA's operating costs and also the CiTRA's student activity budgeted costs. And not just that, uh, due to this system automatic calculation, it can give express financial performance results. And due to that, it can also give advantage to the CiTRA staff to instantly make further evaluation and give recommendations at any time needed to the relevant faculties for any necessary steps that need to be taken for improvement from time to time. So next, let's look at the CiTRA excessive budget fund. So the question is there any situations that can make CiTRA to have excessive budget fund than usual? So yes, there are actually two situations that seldomly happens that can contribute to this excessive fund. So the first one is the finance division distribute operating funds more than the cap, which is RM 10,000, and the second one is the finance division charge more than RF 50 in the student fees to transfer into the student trust fund account. So how does CiTRA do and manage, and of course, how do they consume the fund in these situations? So let's take a look. So actually, the treatment is based on the fund account, and for the operating fund account, since this fund is forbidden by the university policy to bring forward to the next year, so the CiTRA staff will try their best to consume all the available funds in the account upon any spaces available, like programs and also the CiTRA's supplies. In contrast, the student fund account can be brought forward to the next year, and that will give options to the staff and students. Either they want to fully consume the fund or they want to save some of it for the next year. So even so, based on the interview with Bro Aminuddin, he said that according to university policy, the best administrator and director is the one who can spend 98% to 100% of the fund allocated by finance division. So that means, so it implies that even though that CiTRA may save the fund, save some fund on certain account. So it is the best for them to consume all the fund available during the year, because there will be uh, fund available again to be allocated in the next year. Alright, so the next one, does CiTRA generate their own income? So based on the interview, yes, they generate their own income, and the idea to generate the income is based on these two resources. So the first one is the general practices of the world universities, and also the referral to the experiences and suggestions from previous officers and directors in order to create new ideas and also to improve the previous ones. So what did CiTRA do to generate the income? Uh, so the first one is by programs. So CiTRA did executed the student performances and events like Cinta Musica, Life Greatest Gift. So from this event, they obtain money from the charging fees to students and KCDIO staff, either the one who participate or the audiences of the event. Not just that, they also obtain the money from selling of various foods and products in the event. And in spite of that, they CiTRA also obtain income from awards by other KCDIO. So when the CiTRA student performers or gamelan team performs well at any symposium or opening ceremony in IUM, so they will be entitled to get M500 ringgit from other certain KCDIO. And from this M500, 30% will be transferred to student trust fund account, and 70% will go to the students' hands as their reward. And lastly, based on the interview, Bro Aminuddin said the initiatives to generate income is more lively during the Tan Sri Rais Yatim presidency time. And since then, it has been slowly decelerating until now. So that's all from me.
Cost Management Initiative. Based on the interview, CiTRA has a cost management initiative like cost cutting. The management needs to do cost cutting because they do not have enough budget to cover all costs for expenses such as the wages of trainers. For example, the example will be given from Bro Aminuddin. Our trainers previously were assigned to work 16 hours monthly and cut into 8 hours to cut the cost of budgeting. Next, CiTRA needs to check student activities whether reliable or not, such as CPC wants to do public services announcements, PSA. Introduce cost management. Regarding IIUM policy, CiTRA management cannot introduce new cost management and must follow finance divisions. Anything about the financial system, we must follow the finance divisions. But the way to manage and handle our account depends on our decisions such as the Makam program. CiTRA needs to cut main distributions, and CiTRA also have just separate and follow and must follow the finance distributions depending on the officer itself and head of governments. All the management regard the cost already stipulated by finance. Staff performance measure in key performance indicator KPI. Recently, the indicator has changed from key performance indicator KPI to key asset indicator, but the function is still the same. Even the names are not the same, but the function is still the same like key performance indicator. The indicator was set by the head of department, and the indicator has been discussed yearly. The measurement of KI was measured based on the performance of individuals, and CiTRA don't have any problem using this key asset indicator because it is measured by numbers such as 40% or 50%. Usually, CiTRA have 3 to 4 KI to more easily evaluate the staff performance. Last questions. Does the staff KPI include on how to manage the cost? The staff KI does not include how to manage the cost because CiTRA are only on their own job descriptions. The example, raw aminoardens needs to spend at least 95% budget yearly. And the second examples, Ronism as a staff has to make sure working paper and invoice are sent during stipulated date.
In conclusion, CiTRA core activity is to promote art and culture in IUM. CiTRA mainly gains income from the finance division of IUM, and CiTRA utilises this income to cover the office supplies, petrol, trainers' wages, athletic expenses, and to purchase costume for performance. CiTRA also prepares budgets to plan their financial performance and set a KPI or KII to always ensure an admirable performance. Some recommendations to CiTRA is firstly, CiTRA can collaborate with other societies and clubs to promote art and culture in IIM. Secondly, because of this pandemic COVID-19, CiTRA could open part-time jobs for students to support the administration of CiTRA. That's all from us. Thank you.